Hi guys, my second video now. This will be a prediction on UFC 134, Silva versus Okami. I think almost everyone would agree that this fight doesn't even seem worth, it doesn't even seem worth it. I think Silva is by far the better fighter. I think he has better skills in absolutely every area of the game. He's definitely one of the best strikers in mixed martial arts. He he has his black belt in BJJ via the Nogueira brothers. He's absolutely he's seems virtually unstoppable at the moment. I think this will be quite possibly the last fight we see him taking against anyone of this kind of caliber. I think next we'll be looking at GSP versus Silva if GSP manages to beat Diaz, or we'll be seeing, I think, maybe even see Silva going into light heavyweight. I just can't see him having anyone else to fight at this point. I don't think Okami poses any real threat. Yeah, to be absolutely, to give him the best chance, I'd say he's got to just get in there early and just try and lay down haymakers and hope that something lands. But Silva is so hard to hit. We've seen that in his fight against people like Griffin. They just cannot get him. And I do think this will be a first or second round TKO or knockout for Anderson Silva. I think you'd have to be a bit crazy to bet against him at this point. But like I say, there is always a chance of someone winning. So yeah, that's my prediction. 90% sure that Silva's going to win first or second round, TKO or KO. I just hope he doesn't fight like he did against some of his previous opponents, where he just seemed to toy with them. I hope he just goes in there and finishes it like he did against Belfort. Co-main event. I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be Shogun versus Griffin. I'm pretty sure. I love Shogun. I think he looked unhealthy in his fight against John Jones. I don't think he was fighting up to his potential in the slightest. He's an absolutely excellent fighter. I think Griffin, I think he's a bit over the hill at this point. I don't think he's really got much left to give. Although I think he's one of the most popular fighters in the UFC. I absolutely love him. I've read his biographies. He's a really funny guy, and I hope he does do well. But I think you'd have to be a bit brave to bet against Shogun unless he comes in looking as bad as he did against John Jones. I think this fight will go first round to Shogun. So yeah, first round Shogun by, I think, TKO or just pure knockout. Although we know that Forrest has got a fairly strong chin, except for that fight against Anderson Silva where he did get made to look a bit silly. Next fight will be Schaub versus Nogueira, if I'm not very much mistaken. I think this is another case of Brendan Schaub coming in against fighters who are very much over the hill, and he seems to be making his fame off beating people like Nogueira, like Krokop, who just aren't the fighters they once were, and he seems to think he's amazing for doing it. I don't overly like Schaub. I think he got made to look silly in his fight against Roy Nelson. I don't think he'll ever be a huge factor in the heavyweight division. I think he will beat Nogueira because Nogueira is old, but then I really hope Nogueira wins it because I love the old school fighters and I don't want to see them all going. But yeah, I think this will be a decision victory for Schaub or a early round submission by Nogueira. I think that's his only chance, really. Then it's Pearson against Barboza. I'm British, so I'm going to have to go for Pearson on this. I think Barboza looks really good. He's undefeated. I think he'll probably win. He's tall. He's a taller fighter. He's bigger. He's probably got longer reach, although I'm not sure. But he's really good. He's an absolutely excellent fighter from what we've seen so far. I think Pearson is going to have a really hard fight on his hands. I hope Pearson can win it because I like to see as many British fighters as I can in the UFC. And I don't overly like watching Bisping because I think he's a bit stuck up. So whereas Pearson is, he's a really nice bloke. So I hope he does well, but I think it is going to go to Barboza very early. I think Barboza will take it in the first round. The other fights I'm not overly interested in. I'm not overly keen on this card in general. We got Thiago Tavares in there. You've got Spencer Fisher, Mike Swick, Paulo Thiago, but it's not an overly good card really, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. So yeah, I think Anderson Silva wins the fight against Okami easily, and Shogun wins against Griffin, probably in the early rounds as well via TKOs. Hoping to see some good knockouts in this, and hopefully a submission from Nogueira if he can get it. So yeah, cheers for now. I'll be doing my Rampage versus Jones prediction probably later on today at some point. Thanks for listening, guys. Give me any feedback you can.